Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri was directed by Martin McDonagh, the man behind Seven Psychopaths and In Bruges, two excellent films if you've never seen them. This film is about a character named Mildred, played by Frances McDormand, who, after the police in Ebbing, Missouri, fail to catch the culprit of the man responsible for her daughter's death, puts up three billboards asking the chief of police, played by Woody Harrelson, why there have been no arrests in this case. And since it's a very small rural town, everyone knows about it by the following day. Now, certain people are on the side of the police, and certain people are on Mildred's side. But Mildred becomes an emotional target for this entire town because they feel the billboards are inappropriate. And it's a town that has no problem saying quite a bit of inappropriate things. But when the spotlight is shown on them for being complacent in the solving of a very important crime, while also not being as complacent when it comes to committing other crimes, they don't like that. And so the film explores a lot of deep, dark territory, and it does so with a surprising amount of dark humor. This is one of the best films of the year. I think it's one of the best acted films I've seen in many years. Frances McDormand is already a legend, but honestly, this might be her best performance. Her character is very driven, but she will not let anything stand in her path. She's one of the strongest characters I've seen in a movie all year. She faces down an entire town that's hating on her and telling her everything she's doing is wrong, when all she's seeking is justice. Woody Harrelson as Chief Willoughby is typically excellent. This is not his first film with Martin McDonagh. He was also in Seven Psychopaths. In fact, a lot of cast members from that film are reused here, like Sam Rockwell, who plays a racist, bigot cop who is basically the definition of everything you don't want in a police officer. And his arc in the film is probably my favorite. He goes through a lot and sees a lot, which brings me to probably my favorite aspect of Three Billboards. It's unpredictability. The film plays out in a way that I honestly did not expect it to, and characters make choices that I did not see coming, and plot points that you expect to have specific answers to, and things that you are just expecting to happen because we've all seen a ton of movies. They don't happen. I try my hardest not to predict how a movie's going to end while I'm watching it, but after seeing so many, sometimes you can just think in your head, like, I know what's about to happen in this scene because you're used to the way scenes in movies play out. Like, if a character in a horror movie opens up a refrigerator, you're expecting someone to be standing behind that refrigerator when they close it. There are so many moments in this movie, particularly an interrogation scene between Woody Harrelson and Frances McDormand, where you're like, I know where this is going. I've seen this a billion times. Oh, holy shit. Never mind. And pretty much from there on out, I just stopped trying to analyze where the film could lead because I was always wrong. I mentioned that the film has some very bleak humor, and that's not going to be a surprise to anyone who's ever seen a Martin McDonagh film. And here it was quite shocking. Characters are not censored. This is a small town in a rural area, and people say things totally inappropriate, and no one calls them out on it for a long time because that's just the way people in this town talk. There is no effort to distance themselves from reality when it comes to the script. The characters all say things, and you're like, geez, okay, it's that kind of movie. And the film has really clever ways and very ballsy ways of making jokes out of things that a lot of people are afraid to talk about today. And that's something that I have to commend Martin McDonagh for, because there were moments where I cringed at some of the humor. And then in retrospect, thinking on it, I'm like, man, that was actually really smart. But it's not just that humor that keeps the screenplay fresh. It's, along with the performances, a very dark and heartfelt story that's moving and powerful, and that speaks volumes about the way people react to tragedies by trying to hide from them. And then when that tragedy is once again forcibly put into the public's mind, suddenly everyone has a really hard time dealing with that, because we all like to forget about things when it's not us. When we're constantly forced to remember that someone else is dealing with something, then it becomes a problem. And this film had a really great way of exploring that. I'm going to give Three Billboards an A. My only issue with the film is sort of a spoiler. It's not really, but it kind of is. So if you haven't seen the film yet, thanks for watching the video. If you have, I'm going to get into the only thing that I wanted a little more out of, and that was the ending. It's not that I didn't like it. I think I just wanted maybe one more scene. It's a little ambiguous, and in a lot of films I actually really like ambiguity, but I think in this story I was just so invested in what was going to happen to Mildred that I just wanted a little more. That's really it. It's a fantastic film. Definitely check it out, guys. Thank you so much as always for watching. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.